What's up, everybody? Join me for another review, and today I'll be talking about my thoughts on the latest film and the fifth and final chapter, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I just saw it yesterday and Sunday, and damn, it was damn good. Well, I want to see how the reviews go. Let's just say the audience love it, and the critics, well, the critics don't count. The audience count. How much? Let's see. According to Rotten Tomatoes, for the critics, 68%. For the audience score, closely 90%. It's an 88, but it's still going up. It was an 85. Now it's keep going up. It's still going. So yeah, and it's 2 hours, but hey, it's worth it. And before we begin, warning: spoilers to those who haven't seen the movie. I recommend watching it. You'll be having a good time. But yeah, remember to subscribe, hit the bell, like this video, and let's continue this review, shall we? So yeah, this is the fifth and final film of the Indiana Jones franchise. Yes, I know. We thought the fourth film would have been the final one, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which of course, well, it was until the day, hey, we gotta make the fifth, this will be our fifth and final film with Indiana Jones. Which, of course, okay, like I said before, spoilers alert to those who haven't seen it. If you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this video. Go watch the movie first and come back for his review. If you don't care, okay, your funeral. But yeah, it stars returning with Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. We also have a lot of characters who have returned, and some familiar. We have Harrison Ford returning as Indiana Jones. We have Phoebe Waller-Bridge as Helena Shaw, Jones's goddaughter. We have Mads Mikkelsen as Jurgen Voller, who plays the main villain here, who was a former Nazi during the war, and he was hired by NASA to seek the use of the Apollo landing. Oh yes. You know what's so funny? This guy was responsible for Apollo 11. The cover scene, he was in his hotel room and somewhere in New York or somewhere, I don't know where. You see you remember the celebration when they welcomed the three astronauts, Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, and Gus Grissom? Grissom? That was his last name? No, it was Aldrin, Armstrong, I think it was Grimson, I think? They welcomed the three astronauts as heroes. It had this parade. Yeah, right there. They set the parade right there. And actually, it opens up to the credit. Okay, let's continue with the cast before I'm going confused here. We also have Antonio Banderas as Ronaldo, an old friend of Jones who pilots a boat, which I did not know Antonio Banderas was in this film. I didn't even recognize him until I realized, oh my god, he plays Rennie. And and Mads Mikkelsen's character just kills him right there in the boat because Jones won't cooperate. Like, oh my god, he killed Puss in Boots. Jesus. And of course, we have the return of John Rhys Davies as Sallah. To those who don't know who he is, he looks a bit more skinnier because if you remember his character in the first and third film, he was like a bit like a fool guy. Indy, literally, because he spent most of the time in Cairo. And of course, he has his turn of fighting Nazis as well. Face it, in the first film, of course, Nazis. Third film, the Nazis. This time with a tank. And of course, get into trouble. Meaning, forgot to keep an eye on Marcus while he got kidnapped by the Nazis. Oh boy. Who finally immigrated. Which, of course, he also aided his friend Indy when finding the Ark of the Covenant in 1936, which was set in the first film, and the Holy Grail in 1938, which was set in the third film. Well, of course, he immigrated with his family, well, his entire family, to New York with Jones' assistance, and now works as a cab driver. We have Toby Jones as Basil Shaw, an Oxford professor of archaeology and a friend of Jones from the days during the war, and also Helena's father, who was obsessed over the Dial of Destiny. We also have Boy Holbrook as Kleber, Voller's nefarious and trigger-happy right-hand man. In 1969, Holbrook described Kleber as Voller's lapdog, and a very crazy one at that. Okay, I don't know which one it is. I think that's the one with the mustache. We also have Ethan Eceder as Teddy Coomer, Helen's young Moroccan sidekick. We also have Shawnette Renee Wilson as Mason, a U.S. government agent. Wilson felt that her character's government connection fit into the story in a similar way how the FBI and the CIA recruit black agents to infiltrate the Black Panther Party in the 60s. Actually, I thought she was working the Secret Service, and I kind of feel bad they didn't keep, she teamed up with Jones after she... I kind of feel bad about her character get killed right there, along with the other American troop right there. Okay. She didn't know the guy she was protecting was a Nazi. Literally. Because she was just doing her job as a federal agent. Of course, she gets killed by the Nazi right there in the helicopter. Damn. I would love to see her team up with Jones or manage to escape that mess. Grab a parachute, get the hell out, and find Jones. He explains to her what's been going on. That would have been pretty cool. We have Thomas Kretschmann as Colonel Weber, a Nazi working with Voller in 1944. We have Karen Allen once again playing Marilyn Ravenwood. And that was, okay, people are asking me, what happened to Shia LaBeouf? And, yeah, we know. What did they do? Last became famous. But he did, there was a scene right there where he mentioned where Harrison character talks to Phoebe's character about what happened to Mutt after. Turns out he enlisted for the Vietnam War just to piss Indy off. Which, of course, I believe he died in Vietnam, which, of course, caused a rift between him and Marilyn and divorced. Which, of course, you see a scene where he's looking at divorce papers and you see a photo of Marilyn during days in the Ark of the Raiders of the Lost Ark. He just put a man over her face just to forget about her. Which, of course, yeah, if you see like an American flag there, they get those who died in the war. Yeah. Mutt's dead. He died in Vietnam. Jesus. In the end, they actually brought her back, which I did not expect that. Literally, you see her like with gray hair, and they played the theme, their love theme from the Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know, went on the ship after their fiasco trying to get the Ark back from the Nazis from Cairo. That scene, which is actually pretty funny. This is reverse. Damn. But continuing, we also have Oliver Reichter as Hook, a heavily built henchman of Voller. I guess this is the heavy because this guy is massive. When you try to punch him, nothing. And Teddy managed to defeat him by drowning him. Literally. They were both handcuffed. Him being a heavy guy, walking on a weak bridge, down you go. Yeah. Continuing. And of course, we have Mark Killen as Pontimus, a soldier from the 212 BC during the siege of Syracuse. Of course, we have Nasser Mermazi as Archimedes, the brilliant scientist from 212 BC. And yeah, actually, all this is started like quoting about time travel. The inventions of Archimedes, who was a famous mathematician and scientist from in the Roman era. He built this device, which turns out it could travel through time, called the Dial of Destiny, or I forgot what it's called. The Nazis call it the the which they found half of the Archimedes dial. It's called the Antikythera mechanism, the circus, which of course was created by Archimedes as a way to travel time. It's quite fun. It's pretty cool. I kind of like when they brought back the Nazis, which were Indiana Jones' oldest foes. Well, this is in the 60s. What do you expect? Him going to Vietnam? Nah. Hardly anything in Vietnam. We got to fight the Russians again. We already done that plot. Let's bring up the Nazis. This time, one who was working with NASA, who was a former Nazi. That's actually pretty funny. And also, there was... Okay, spoilers alert. First of all, India retired as professor at Hutt University. He just, enjoyed his time. He's got... Okay. There's a lot of things that they unravel here. This is pretty cool. Let's start with the opening credit. You have the, the traditional... Okay. Remember, this is bought by Disney, so of course Disney put their logos at 100 to Disney. Yep. And then you got the Paramount one. I kind of made the old Paramount intro for Indiana Jones. It cuts with the mount, and then it cuts to the film. Example. Let's take example. I don't know, the Red Lost Ark had one. I think it was Temple of Doom that had one. When it comes to the logo, and it cuts to the giant gong from Shanghai nightclub. And then the third film, it cuts to the canyons somewhere in Montana or Indiana, where Indy was just a Boy Scout in 1912. And then cuts to the fourth film, where the logo turns to a prairie dog mound. Here, but they didn't do this one. They just fade to black and then cut to the Lucas logo. And then we hear something like an air raid, and because we were taken back into somewhere in World War II. In World War II in 1944, during the liberation of Europe in the war, which of course the Nazis captured Indiana, and of course they captured fellow archaeologist Basil Shaw, in an attempt to retrieve the Holy Lance of Langus, which of course, let's just say, I kind of like the scene where you see all the Germans rushing everywhere, get all the stolen artworks to take back to Berlin, and shove it into the train. And you see all the Allied forces bombarding the whole area, a massive air raid, which is actually pretty cool. So the way you see something like that, it's actually pretty cool. Damn. And of course, he gets interrogated by a couple of high-ranking officers. So they're from the SS because they're wearing the skull mark on their caps, so they're from the SS. And of course, we meet Voller right there, which he concludes that the lance is fake, but he found half of the Archimedes dial, which of course he tried to explain to his superior about that, but of course he didn't give a crap. But let's go back further because he ordered him to get hanged, and he just started to make fun of the troops there until they heard, and then this no. A bomb just crashed through the roof, stuck into the car, it slowly sinks down until it hits the ground. Bang. And then he still has a noose on his neck. He tried to take it off. I mean, he noticed the beam that was holding the half of the rope falls to the ground, falls in the hole. He takes the noose off quickly before he gets dragged down there. Of course, we have the scene where we see all the stolen art and the treasures are loaded into this train, which of course, who doesn't love a train chase? Come on. Props up to, I don't know which locomotive is this. I want to find out which train is this one. This looks like a British locomotive. And come on, who doesn't love a war train? This train had 2 anti-aircraft guns on each car. That's actually pretty cool. You see the engine start moving, and then you see when the Allied airplanes, fighters attacking this train. You see these anti-aircraft guns firing. Damn. Yep, this is the middle of the war. the end of the war. Damn, it looks pretty dope. I do like good train chase actually. He thought Indy tried to steal a car. Of course, it turns out it's about to a nerd couple of Germans. Like one of them looks like a general because of his rank has like a red and gold. Looks like a general rank of a general. Of course, Indy managed to bail out and takes a motorcycle while the car he was driving explodes when it crashed. And Marty managed to get in the train, of course. He had no idea his friend wasn't there because, well, he tried to avoid getting detected by the Nazis. What do you expect? You're hiding in the woods while you got a hound of German Shepherd hounding your butt. Which, of course, and you have to stop the train, which is filled with looted securities, and rescue Shaw. Well, of course, Andy knew that the lance was fake as well, but instead took the dial from Voller when he was right there, which of course Eddie didn't give a crap and asked him. He just punched him, literally right there. And Voller tried to get back until he gets whacked by a water tower. Of course, one of the Allied planes bombed the bridge, which of course Indy and Shaw jumped off, and you thought the train fell in the water. Nope, it just hit one of the pillars from the bridge. Managed to stop it, which of course the train's been seized by British forces because, of course, you see the British flag. I thought they were Americans, but nope, it's the British. That's nothing you can see because, come on, this is what you see: a train chase plus a fighter attack. That's actually pretty cool. Okay, we've seen car chases, boat chases, minecart chases. By a train? Damn, that's new. Well, we did have tanks and armored trucks from the Russians, but a train chase? And with planes? Hell yeah. We did have a plane chase during the third film. A biplane versus a couple of Messerschmitts. But yeah, I do like a good train chase. Hell yeah. I wonder who's responsible for the train. Okay, and this was in development for some time, back in 79. It was originally from that. Okay, pre-production. Let's see. Let's see, where the hell they got that locomotive? Okay, casting, pre-production, filming. Wait. Oh, wait, what? Glasgow? Oh, so they actually filmed in Glasgow, which is supposed to resemble New York in the 60s. Okay. Well, that's obvious because, well, what do you expect? Oh, here it is. It says here, on site filming location include the Bamberg Castle, which is the one you see in the opening scene where the castle getting bombarded by the Allied forces, and according to the train, belongs to the North Yorkshire Moors Railway near Grosmont. Including the train chase and motorcycle scene involving Ford's stunt double using the same stretch of train tracks that he had been used by Tom Cruise weeks earlier in Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Oh, I just saw the trailer and didn't know that. The railway bridge scene were filmed in mid-June at Leaderfoot Viaduct near Melrose in the Scottish border. The interior train shots were filmed on a set at Pinewood Studios. Boo. That's dumb. I've seen Terror Train, and boy, okay. Terror Train does it better because they didn't do no set. They actually filmed on the train while it's still running, moving. Why can't I do that? That'll be pretty cool. But yeah, again, I like it. And as a text pack, you can see a lot of things. They put a lot of, make it more accurate. Like the parade is marking the return of the three astronauts from the Apollo 11 mission. And of course, you have some feature 100,000 background actors portrayed goers as protesters during the Vietnam War. Yeah, the hippies. That. You have the thing from Morocco, which of course originally was going to shoot a part of film in India, but when the COVID-19 level there increased, they were forced to switch India to Morocco. You imagine that you go, okay, let's film India. Nope. COVID, let's go to Morocco. And I think it was a good thing because they already did India in the second film, Temple of Doom. So yeah. As for actually, Ford was digitally de-aged for the film's 1944 opening sequence to depict his appearance during the first three Indiana Jones films. The de-aging process would use several techniques, such as new software from ILM, which looked through archive footage of a young Ford in his previous work from Lucasfilm, including the original Star Wars films. Ford was somewhat spooked by the de-aging process, but was nevertheless impressed. McKinson was also de-aged for the opening sequence with a different method, which, of course, Spielberg had rejected the idea of de-aging Ford with motion capture akin to the method he employed the Adventures of Tintin, saying that he wanted Ford age to be acknowledged in the film. By mid-2019, Spielberg and Coeb had devised a 5-minute World War II sequence that was featured at DH4 in Mangold, would later expand into 25 minutes. I say it was actually pretty good. He looked exactly like in the first three films. It was pretty dope. And it's not the first time he wore a Nazi uniform. I think it's the second time since, well, no. Yeah, it's the second time because in the third film, he wore a colonel's uniform when he was trying to get the book back at the rally in Berlin, which Dr. Henry Jones Sr. said, "We are pilgrims in an unholy country." Rest in peace, Sean Connery. Rest in peace. As for the music, I'm glad to say this. This was composed by the great John Williams. And this was his final score. Following his plans for retirement, and this was his final score. Williams premiered one of his compositions, Helena's Theme, at the Hollywood Bowl back in last year in 2022, and Mangold's request. Walt Disney Records released the soundtrack album digitally back in last month of June 29th, and third is set to be released through CD and vinyl LP format in August of next month, of August 9th, a day before my birthday. And Spielberg confirmed that John Williams, who scored the previous films of Indiana Jones franchise, will return to compose the music for the fifth film, which of course, back in 2022, Williams stated that it will be his final film score before him retiring because, hey, he did all the scores for Star Wars from 1 to 9. Now, he did his final score with this one. With the fifth Indiana Jones film, he just stamped his final music score. And I hope he earns an Oscar for this because, hey, this man composed one of the greatest music from every movie. If you haven't heard his music, if you've seen Jaws, E.T., Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Schindler's List, and the list goes on and on. If you haven't heard any of John Williams' music, what the fuck are you doing with your life? If you don't enjoy music, John Williams, sir, you earned your retirement. If this film earns the Academy Award for Best Music Score, you deserve it. For years of music, you deserve it 100%. I hope it goes, because if these critics start stinking, there's a perfect place to hell for those critics. As for, marketing, during Star Wars Celebration, Ford debuted the first official image from the film, showing a silhouette in a cave. Exclusive footage was shown to attendees at the D23 Expo back in September of 2022. Of course, there were a lot, including an air spot during Super Bowl 52. No, wait. 57? Ugh. Yeah, it's 57. Never mind. Back in February of 2023, with a trailer at the 2023 Star Wars Celebration back on April 7th of 2023. Hasbro released some figures of Indiana Jones, similar to the Star Wars Black Series figures, which are pretty dope. I want to get my hands on one. As for critical response, let's see. Like I mentioned, Rotten Tomato and 68% of 307 critics review are positive, with an average of 6.3 out of 10. The website consensus: it isn't a thrilling as earlier adventures, but the nostalgic rush of seeing Harrison Ford back in action helps Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny find a new few final bits of cinematic treasure. Metacritic, which uses weighted average, assigned the film score 57 out of 100 based on 60 critics and indicated mixed average reviews. Audience polled CinemaScore gave the film an average grade B+ out of the A+ to F scale. While PostTrack reported 79% of filmgoers gave the film a positive score, 59% saying that they would definitely recommend the film, as it should. John Nugent of Empire Magazine gave the film 4 out of 5, complimenting Ford's performance and noting Mangold's camera work moves confidentially through action set pieces after action set pieces. Bill Ebery, reviewing for Vulture, called the film fun, but acknowledged comparisons to the previous installments were warranted, but it's also too entertaining to dismiss. You may not lose yourself in one the way so many of us once did with earlier Indiana Jones movies, but you certainly have a good time. Oh boy. Let's see. Most are positive, and that's actually pretty cool. No, I'm just looking if there's any negatives. Looks like there ain't. The future. Oh, why did I mention the future? Disney CEO Bob Iger back in 2016 that the future of the franchise with Ford was unknown, but the fifth film would not be the final installment in the franchise. In 2022, Kennedy reaffirmed earlier comments that Ford's role as Indiana Jones would not be recast, while Ford confirmed that the fifth will be his last in the series. In November of 2022, Disney considered multiple options to continue the franchise, including additional films or a television series for Disney+. However, in March 2023, Lucasfilm was reported to have canceled the planned Indiana Jones spin-off series for Disney+ to only focus on Star Wars franchise. The series was set to be a prequel to Raiders of the Lost Ark. It will have been second prequel series to following the series The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles. Disney confirmed the following month that the film will indeed be the last in the franchise, and so, because hey, he's not getting younger, and a Young Indiana Jones Chronicles will be pretty good, but the story's been told, the films are done. And I kind of got they're focusing more on Star Wars. Like, okay, you got a lot more material in Star Wars. Like, you got the Old Republic era, the High Republic, the Empire, the First Order, the Age of Rebellion, you know that, the Clone Wars. A lot of exploring there. According to their next movie will be more like the Rey's Jedi Academy. I would love to see if they do like an old Republic movie, like Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic film, featuring like what's been going on like during the age of the Sith Empire. That'd be pretty cool to see. Bring it in the big screen. Like most of us want to see mostly. We already know about the Clone Wars, the rebellion against the Empire, the First Order, yada yada yada. But we want to see a movie about the Old Republic era, like during the time of the Sith Empire and that. That would be pretty cool to see, like, you know, like Sith Lords like Darth Revan, Darth Malak, Darth Nihilus, Darth Malgus, Darth Bane. During the Old Republic era. I think Darth Nihilus would be a good one for a Star Wars horror film because... Sorry? Sorry about that. My screen cut off. But yeah, as I was saying, Darth Miles would be a good character for a Star Wars horror film because this Sith Lord is looking for a horror film. He didn't get the name the Lord of Hunger for nothing. You remove his mask, when you defeat him, there's nothing there, just his life force. That's it. He's a walking ghost. Withheld in his armor and mask. Now that is a Star Wars horror film I want to see. Including the other one, which is a Star Wars Death Trooper, which is the book. We have Star Wars and zombies. I bought it at NASA, the original one, when it came out, which, okay. The cover, you have the Stormtrooper helmet with blood with a hook on it. It's like, holy shit, it's dark. I should make a movie of that. That'll be a good one for horror. Hell yeah. Hey, they did the same thing in the Clone Wars with the Geonosians zombies with worms. Damn. You want to worm your brain? Okay, there you go. But yeah, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. I tell you one thing. This is the best way to end the series. And I recommend it. Don't listen to these idiots that start talking shit about it and say, oh my god, it's a waste of time. Nah. Don't listen to those trolls. They have nothing better to do with their life. I recommend this 100%. Go watch it. Enjoy it. If you're a fan of the franchise, hey, watch it. If you're curious, if you're new to the series, hey, I recommend this. If you're wanting to see more of the movie, if you're new to, seeing Indiana Jones, go watch the first film. I think they're all on Disney Plus. Go check it out. But yeah, I highly recommend it. This film, I enjoyed. I think I'm planning to see it for a second time for Tuesday on 4th of July because, hey, I also want to see Oppenheimer. Okay, I've seen memes between Oppenheimer and Barbie. No, I'm not going to see Barbie. Unless I see with friends, because I don't want to be the one guy in black where everybody's wearing pink. Fun fact, there's actually a funeral Barbie. I'm not joking. Google funeral Barbie, and there's actually you have a bunch of Barbies in a funeral. It's like from the 60s. Like, holy shit, did this actually exist? I didn't know this. It's actually pretty dope. I wonder why they didn't catch up. I wonder why. But continuing, I might see Oppenheimer. And on the 28th, I'm going to see the Haunted Mansion as well. Which, hey, come on. I was reading a review from Disney that the reason after their 3 films started to flop, like Elemental, I don't think Elemental is a flop. It's still good. What else? Yeah, I think there were others Disney films that were flopping. I say Haunted Mansion is their final card to succeed, and this Haunted Mansion is more of a horror film. From the description of the director, it's more a combination of Tim Burton and Sam Raimi. Hear me out. Tim Burton, the guy who knows about Nightmare Before Christmas and other famous classic good stop motion films like Horse Bride, and Sam Raimi with the Evil Dead franchise. So, oh boy, Disney's having their first horror film. I want to see that. They got me on that, so I hope it's good. But yeah, until then, have a great day, everybody. If you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe, hit the bell, like this video. And also, if you're new to the channel, give a like to this video and comment down below if you've seen the movie. Tell me about your thoughts about the movie. And did you enjoy it? What was your favorite scene? Did the final scene tear you up? To me, the one thing I love more is that Indy was teasing Voller about his calculations when he's about to travel through time. And when he found out that Archimedes knew about a certain, I forget what it's called. Shit. I forgot what it's called. Let me check. Let's see. About continental drift. Which, of course, the continental drift alters the dial's coordinates over the centuries, which of course gets where they end up in. 3212 BC, during the siege of Syracuse, Which, of course, Joan Hela parachuted the plane after as warring Greek and Roman armies mistake it for a dragon. Which is actually pretty funny. Really? A dragon? Do you see the plane flapping? Jesus. Which, of course, it was a scene where Indy wanted to stay in that time period. No, I'm not joking. He wanted to stay in that era. But of course, his goddaughter knew if he stayed, the time paradox, he'll be altering time, which of course, pow, he knocked them out. And they're back home. Of course, Marin arrived, which of course, well, I think she told him what happened. What do you expect? And you see the damn doll right next to him, like, huh? I thought that thing was destroyed after the whole fiasco. But let's finish this review. Comment down below. Tell me what your thoughts about the film. Did you love it? Did you enjoy it? Hey. You recommend your friends watch it? Hey, do so. Let's hope this film makes bigger money because, hey, don't let the trolls stink it up. Ugh. I think trolls should not be given the power of social media. They have nothing better to do but to make everything stupid. But yeah, until then, have a great day, everybody. Have a great night. Have a nice summer. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell so you'll miss any of our great content. And remember, our goal is to hit 1 million subscribers or at least 500K until my birthday. Let's hope so. It's already been 11 years, so let's go for round 3. Until then, peace out.